Hey guys, we are back. It's Aaron, Izzy, and Teddy with Catch Us Outside, and we are jumping back in on the progress that we're making with our overlanding vehicle for all of our adventures, wherever we go. Okay, so real quick, just to give you an idea of the thought process of where we went with these. The whole debate between GMRS and ham radio. I am a ham radio operator and was kind of leaning toward that when I initially thought of what I wanted to put in the vehicle for comms. But then just talking through that with the Jeep groups that I'm in down here, nobody's really doing that. If anything, they are doing GMRS or FRS, but there's not a lot of ham radio operators out here, and so the whole purpose is to communicate with the Jeeps or other off-road vehicles that we're on trail with, and so this was a better option. We can add a mobile unit to the Jeep, and then we can have a couple handhelds as well. If we got somebody that doesn't have a radio, we're able to communicate well with them. Now, don't forget, if you go get into GMRS, you do need to get a license from the FCC. It's very simple. It took me maybe 30 minutes, and that was because I couldn't remember my password to the FRS website because I already had my ham radio license. It's very simple to do. You usually have it the same day, or I had it that afternoon, but they say you'll have it by the next day. So don't forget, if you are ordering this kind of equipment, to make sure you have the right license, because the fine can be hefty. And so that was our thought process. This is what we wanted to do. This makes it easy for us if we're camping, hiking, we're on the trails. We can communicate well with this small system. And so we will add the mobile unit to the Jeep, to Fawkes. This is the MXT275. It's a 15 watt GMRS radio, and then the GXT 1000s, 7 or 8 watts, depending on your setting. Okay, so let's start with, they are dying to get into the handhelds, so let's get into those first. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's leave that one. We'll do one at a time, okay? Let's see. Okay. Is that?
Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of. What the? Oh, we have a deserter. What? I thought I could. Did we not cut that? I thought we cut that. We did cut it. It just magically sealed back up. There we go. All right. So we got the package with two, and it comes with a cradle that charges both, and then it comes with a couple little headsets, it looked like, as well. This was about $89 online. Okay, so here's the, are we gonna be able to see this well enough? All right, so here's a little headset for it. So that's in-ear little earbud, and then a boom mic on that, and then your 2-prong for your walkie-talkie. Handheld. And then right next to it, the other one. And the other mic. Seem nice. Okay, so you got 2 belt clips here that'll click on the back. We've got a car charger for the cradle, or let's see here. Can you charge them individually? That was a question.
Wait,
I know
bottom.
I know I had from the get-go, and it doesn't look like it. It's got the 2 prongs underneath that sit in the cradle. Hopefully you can see that. So no, you couldn't charge these individually. It does not look like. Let's pull that real quick. That's for the microphone. So this charger only fits the cradle, and then there's a house charger as well with same plug, and then your 2 batteries. that's it as far as that box goes. So let's set that. Let's set all that aside for a second. You guys can hang on to that. Okay, so here is the mobile, the MXT275. Careful, baby, there's a knife there. Careful, you're moving my table.
Dada, how do you turn them on?
I'll show you. We'll get all that plugged in, okay?
Okay.
Ooh, that was loud. Okay, so this came with the little magnet antenna. Let me open that so you can see it better. Watch that knife, sweet pie.
Okay.
So there's a little tiny baby magnet antenna that is nice if you're moving from car to car or something like that. I wanted something a little more permanent. And so I got the universal trunk lip mount, and that's got the mount that'll fit. I'm actually putting it on the hood like most guys that I've seen do it, and then you slip that through the firewall. And then I got the what is this? The MXT275. It's just a little the little antenna. Anyway, so and then we got our base unit here, and like I've seen so many times, this little guy slides right out, size of my hand. It's tiny. And then there's the cradle for that. Okay, that slides right back in. And we are going to install this and show you the end product in the Jeep as well. And then there's this beautiful mic. They did so good on what this is and how this thing works. And so I'm really excited.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It controls that little guy.
What little guy?
This little guy right here. That's the brains and that's the controller. Isn't that cool?
How do you talk?
I'll show you. We're gonna hook it all up. All right. So there's that. It's a good weight. It's a good weight for sure. And then we've got a little sticky thing so you could put that somewhere. I've got another something I'm gonna show you in just a sec that I also ordered. And then you've got your cigarette lighter. Ooh. And then the sticker. I love stickers. So you got cigarette lighter if you're gonna go that route. I also ordered the longer battery run because I'm not gonna use the cigarette lighter thing because it's permanent. It's staying. It's not going anywhere. And then this is what I ordered for the mount, and you've seen this. A couple of different guys are using these. This is where I got the idea from. All of this stuff will be down in the description, but this will fit in the passenger handle just below the airbag in the Jeep, and then you've got the hook that'll just and then it'll just be sitting there for when you need it. You'll be able to hear it really well because the speaker is in this, not in the base unit. A couple screws, 3 screws, and a fuse, and that's everything, right? This was just the longer battery cable. The terminals on that actually match the most like lighting kits and stuff like that, so it's going to be easy to add those. And then I got an extension. I don't think I need one because I think I'm just going to put it right on the passenger side dash. That's where the base unit's going to go, and so it'll all be right there. But in case I change my mind, you can get an extension, and so that guy goes there, and then you've got 4 extra feet, so that guy can be way down under the seat or something, and you'll have plenty of room to put this wherever you'd like. All right, so that's it for that. So we're going to organize all of this. We're going to get those charging. We're going to get ready to install this and actually install this. So the next part of this video is going to be us installing the mobile unit, and then we'll make sure these are charging. And then the last part of this video, we're going to do some real world testing. 1, because it's fun, and 2, because I'd like to know how far we can actually go, with all of that stuff. So we're gonna go back outside. Okay, guys, we're in the Jeep. We got the MXT275, and we're looking for spots to put it. Now, I've seen some where they put it here, and I like the simplicity of that, but I don't love that it's exposed. I'm always looking to keep stuff concealed as best as I can. We're close to Atlanta. We're close to, all those kinds of areas where your Jeep would get broken into and stuff like that. So I am going for a concealment option. I do like how well it fits in here. If we can swing that down, I could really hide this in the side of this and not really impact the space in here. I'd still have a ton of space. The only thing I don't like about that is the run to the engine compartment to hook everything up is going to be quite a bit. So the other option I was looking at was putting it here in the glove box, and I pulled this out and probably shouldn't have just yet, but it fits. What I'm thinking is it fits great right there, and then I can run my extensions down and around, and then our mount's going to be right here for the mic, and then we can easily, I've got 6 to 8 feet of run for antenna and the battery run. So I think that's going to be it. I'm going to look and make sure the runs are going to be easy enough. Now, I'm not the guy that does the easiest because it's the easiest. I want the best option. But I'm going to double check and make sure it's going to be somewhat easy, and I don't have to pull this whole dash apart to get the cables in and through where I want them to. Okay, so I'm going to work on that. We'll jump back into it. All right, so this is a good place to put cable through. There's not a lot of info on where to go through, though. If you pull this plastic panel from the side, you just need a screwdriver. They pop out these clips here, plastic clips. You'll see there's a spot here in the frame where we can put, this is just a fish stick for pulling cable in a house or something like that. They screw together, that kind of thing. I think I got this kit at Harbor Freight or something like that for like $12, something like that, real cheap. Okay, so we're just going to push through, and it's actually going to pop through right on the other side, supposedly, and then we're going to be good to go. So what I just figured out was my longer battery run cable kit that I bought does not work with that. That's okay. So what we're going to end up doing is taking the cigarette lighter plug that came with it. We're going to hook that guy up. I'm actually going to cut it and leave a little bit of lead, so if I do ever need that and have to do an emergency fix to get communications going, I'm going to cut that there and then cut the end of this off because that doesn't match anything I'm using either. And then we'll use some butt connectors to get those together and send them through. That also fixes my way of getting through the firewall because that's not going to fit through this. This is maybe a 1/2 inch hole. And so something, even the smaller connector, there's no way that's going through that little firewall area on this side. So what I'm going to do is cut that off. I'm going to send it back through along with my antenna cable, and then we'll get this all wired up here real quick. Okay, so we've got our antenna, we've got our power taped together, and then to the fish stick. You try to kind of stagger the cable because this is pretty big, and I'm not sure that it's going to fit through. If it doesn't, then we'll either send one through at a time, or we'll figure it out. But let's see if we can make this work, hopefully, so it's just one clean, easy. All right, so we did just try to bring all 3 through. This is a tiny spot apparently, so we're going to go one at a time and pull the antenna, the bigger one, through first, and then we'll get the other 2. So let's give that a shot. Hopefully this works out better than the first time. And yes. So there we go. We got that.
Now what?
So we'll unwrap this real quick. Now we got to pull the power, and then we're ready to hook this bad boy up. All right, so now we're going to pull our cable, our power cable through. So what I did is I actually cut the red shorter than the black, because this is even a tighter fit now with this antenna cable going through. So one cable first, and then that's taped off there, and then it tapers up to both. So hopefully this will come through easily. If not, we'll figure it out. All right, so you can see in there we've got both coming through. So we're actually going to cut in, and not cut, we're going to tuck in through here, and then our head unit will be on the inside of the glove box. So we'll have power, antenna, and then the last little bit we'll need to do is get the remote or the mic hooked up, and then we'll also take this off and add our mic holder that'll mount just here. So
I'll hold that.
I think that'll do just fine, and that's plenty of service loop there.
Should I try it? Or the gas tank one is to start the car? Right? Like that.
Actually, that's almost perfectly straight, and it's solid. All right. Ow. So we're going to go get this guy on here. Bug on me? Yep. All right, got that. This guy will slide in. And the one thing I was worried about is becoming an issue, because that antenna cable is super long. So ideally, for me, I love as stock as you can get. I love it clean. I love it when stuff like Vector Designs uses mounts that are already there, so I don't have to make holes and stuff like that. Definitely screws in the dash, stuff like that, that's a no for me. Now, when I have to do a hole in the glove box to make this work, a little hesitant, but I'm fine because it's not a huge deal. If I need to replace a glove box, if I ever go to sell this thing, that's an easy fix for me. Whereas a hole in a dash or something like that, one, I just don't love the way that looks, but also, yeah. So, for this, I'm good with that. That gives us a little extra room for our wires to live and hide right through. Nobody's going to see that. If they open the glove box, it's fine. It's still going to hold everything that I want it to hold. And we'll just keep moving right forward. I like that. That's my the air filter, cabin air filter is right there behind us, so there's nothing really that we need to worry about as far as heating up. And there we go.
So now I need to put the radio.
So that's I love it. It's a nice clean hook up there. This will close. Nobody's the wiser if we, for whatever reason, I don't see us running with the doors off and all that very much, but if we do, that's the other reason why I like as clean as possible. Obviously they know we have an iPad and a phone. If we do leave that on, I tend to take this off actually if we're not on trail. One, because I am worried about airbag. If it, God forbid, has to deploy, this could protrude that and hurt our passenger. So this is usually only going on trail, and this I made it so that it's a ball joint right there, and this just pops right off. We can throw it in the kit when we're ready and we need it. We can put it right back on. I don't know why we just did that, but okay, so we've got power antenna on this side. Now we're ready to get into the engine compartment, finish that up. We'll probably pull some back through here now that we have our service loop where we'd like it behind there. But I'm loving that. I love everything about that. So our extension will come down and under, and then we'll have, and we'll show you in just a minute, but my plan is to bring it out, not from here, but it's gonna come down from under here and just kind of hang right there. The end of the extension will be there, and then you have the whole length to bring it. If you've got a co-pilot that's running your nav and all that and running comms for you, then they've got their seat all set up and the things right there. So so far so good. Is ready, and I think it's gonna live right here, although I'm not sure if that's gonna give me some interference that I don't want. So I will look into that. All right, so we got some zip ties. We will make this nice and clean right here. That'll be just fine for holding that. We'll cut all these off once we're done at the had to put the hood all the way up because I went ahead and dropped that nut, 10mm nut down, and luckily it was caught in the tray, but I couldn't see it until I opened up the hood all the way back. All right, we've got one more. What do I do with those cutters? All right, we'll get the controller plugged in. We got to put the antenna on the top of this. Keep in mind, if you open this all the way, you've got to pull that off, or you'll... Actually, I'm not sure exactly what will happen, but it'll either break or pop this off or something. So you want to pull the antenna off. You have to put your hood all the way back. If you have it forward where the bar catches it, then there's plenty of room. You wouldn't have to remove that at all. And I'll show you that in just 1 second. Let me go grab. One pass tight, or a half pass tight, I guess. All right, and then we've got, you want to come look in here and see the finished product. It's still messy, obviously, because we're working. But you've got it tucked in there. You've got your hole. So keep in mind, if you're doing this setup, that these cables are long, whether you're using, this is the extension, or whether you're using the actual mic plug. I had to move this down almost pretty much all the way, and so you wouldn't be able to do this unless you put a hole in the back, because that, you can see that connector wouldn't go otherwise. So we've got our, but I don't know if you can see up here, this is what it was hitting. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. This bar up here?
Yes.
So it was catching that, and instead of catching the stoppers on each side, it was resting on that, and eventually that would ruin that jack, or your cable and your jack, and that's bad. Okay, so we've got that run down to here. Let me see that, big guy. Okay. Oh. the power button is there in the middle, I think.
Nope.
No? We hold it. Okay, hold on. So we got power. So this is like a vanity little thing, and it's got 2 screws you'll need an Allen key or a hex key for. And then it's 2 8mm, which I started, already did the one side. And we are pulling the left side and then realized you're probably going to want to see that maybe. So here's a quick little bzz of that.
Good job.
Well, maybe the... Oh, okay. That makes more sense. So instead of having the gap or it not being straight on the one side, they're saying this goes on the right side where you're not putting the radio controller thing or holder, mic holder. We'll drop those back in, maybe. Radio controller thing. We're real technical about everything that we do. I mean, I try to be, but obviously we do what we can. All right, here we go. So that's going to just go right back in where it was. And there's your holder.
What?
And that feels like it lined up. Let me make sure this is like did.
What?
And that did as well.
This is weird. Where did that thing go?
It's right here. We'll put that back on. All right. So we'll crank that down a few times. Baby, chill.
No, I get it now. The radio's got my thing.
Yep, it sure is.
Wait. Oh.
Again, I love this. There's no extra screw holes or anything in the dash. Stuff like that is not my thing. I hate doing anything like that where it would
I think I get it.
damage original parts or original dash or anything like that. So this just kind of, it took a bit to finagle it, and it feels like if you bent it, it would crack or bend, crease. And then there's 2, they're tiny. They're just real superficial that hold the ends in here. And there we go. All right. So, and then finished product here. And there we go. So you've got your extension down. Here, let me move you down just a bit. Got your extension down to here. Can you see that? Not really. Let me flip you around here. You got your extension down here, and then you've got all that space for that to do what it needs to do.
So, Dad.
And it's nice and clean.
Yeah, it is.
Got that there. Got our battery hooked up. And the antenna out. And we are receiving well. Okay, guys, a few things that we, just right off the bat, while we were listening to the weather, at the end of that weather station transmission, it did identify that it's coming from Mobile, Alabama at the airport. So that is roughly 35 miles from where we are right here at this point.
At 357.
The other thing that we just noticed is it's not coming through the mic. The speaker, that's coming through the bass unit right now.
On Friday.
And so I was just reading through. Let's see. Let me.
High tide at 3:20 p.m. At the East Pass in Destin on Friday. Low tide at 12:51 a.m. High tide at 1:56 p.m.
Anyway, it does tell you in here how to change that, and it's very simple. You can run just the base unit, you can run just the handheld, or we're about to switch it to both. You can use both. So it says hit the lock button and then scroll through. We want HOAO. So that just swapped that. HOAF should be radio-based speakers active. Okay. So we hit lock and then HOAO. Both handheld and the radio-based speakers are active. There we go. Now they're both going. And that's turned all the way down. Yeah. So it could get, if you're worried about this not being loud enough, it's super loud. That's 2. That's volume 2. Let me switch it back to just HFAO or HOA. No, I want HFAO. Okay, so that's just the handheld. And it's like,
with a period of 4 seconds,
my neighbors, like, all the way down the street can hear this right now. It is super loud. So if you're worried about how loud this is going to be, it's super loud. But if that's not enough, you can add both by just hitting lock and then going to HOAO. And then here comes both. And it'll click, and now it's doing both. So that's a cool feature. I like that. I think I will leave it like that for now. The other cool thing that I just noticed is you can change that color of the display. I like Midland blue, so I'm going to stay with that. Let me shut this off because it's distracting me. With the handhelds, the GXT1000s, they have to charge for 24 hours before they're good to go. So we did a video. So this has been over 2 days. If you didn't notice, I'm wearing different clothes, and well, Teddy's not, but you know how that goes. He's 4. We plugged those in around 4:30 yesterday, and we read the book. It's like, well, maybe it'll be 2 or 3 hours. No, it wants 24 hours to charge the first time, and then 12 hours every time after that. So that's kind of a bummer. What you could do is get a couple more, or you can just use AA batteries when that becomes an issue, but I don't know how you charge the other ones because you need the radio to charge. I don't know. So it is what it is. Maybe get 2 more and then you've got 4 charged. And then I don't know, maybe get a third radio that's just for backup and charging. We'll figure that out because I'm all about having extra batteries, having extra equipment if something fails, kind of thing. So those are stuff that we're going to think through as this channel goes along. We're going to gear up more for whatever it is we need, whatever we feel like we need to keep our family safe and having fun and things like that. So we're going to get cleaned up. We're going to wait for those radios to finish charging, and then we're going to hit the road. What?
The bus is here.
Oh man, the bus is here. We got to go.